Hello, good evening. Hello. Well, not just good evening, just hello. It depends what time you're watching this. What day is it? 4th of December. So it's 1 year since I've opened up the Facebook group Sovereign Solicitorz. Got 666 members. Let's add them together. 6 and 6 is 12, and then another 6 is 18. 1 and 8 is 9. So there we go. I look at it like that. We disregard the 666. So I came to Facebook, I was looking at some groups, I was writing some threads, I was asking questions, I wasn't getting very good answers, I wasn't getting very far. I was getting people giving me sarcastic comments and having a go at me and saying, well, what, shouldn't you just be paying your TV licence, your water, your tax and this, that, the other, blah, 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 not understanding legalese. And I was like, oh, please help me, I need somewhere with intermediate to expert knowledge that I can sit in and put things in and compare and contrast, upload documents, submit my own documents, look at other people's cases, documents, successes, tactics, instruments. Our system, our law system, is not very complicated. Common law: do not commit harm, injury, and loss, and fraudulent dealings. That's it, done, easy. The legal system, that's the law. Common law. Think of the law as like a computer, and you've got common law as a motherboard, and then you've got canon law, contract law, admiralty law, employment law, you know what I mean, and all these other laws, which are, you could argue, act and legislation, the Health and Safety Act, the Road Traffic Act, the Child Protection Act, all these acts here, statute law. Then you've got common law, constitutional, inalienable rights, this side, common law underneath, and then the constitution, then we'll say, and legislation and act, and it's like you interchangeable chips on the motherboard. And we've explained and digressed that we know now, and I've even posted a video with Theresa May saying that this country is policed by consent. Now that's the citizens. If you're a citizen, we know about being a natural man and natural woman. We know about what our capacity is and what we can allow if we want to by our consent. Simple. Well, no, not when you first find out about it. This is the greatest story ever told that everybody's involved in. Everybody that is with a birth certificate, I'd say, but in England and America, defo, 100%. And nobody knows that they're in it until the end. And then when they find out they're in it, it's a bit like Alice in Wonderland, because you're already down the rabbit hole and it's all gone crazy. You don't know where you are and you need help. And you've got idiots telling you, you're not dead, you're just alive, and this, that, the other. And you've got people saying that you should pay stuff and that you're obliged to, and how else would we have the street lights and this, that, the other, because that's where your council tax money goes. You've not looked at where the surplus money goes and what they do with that, and the fact they don't bill you in the correct way, and it's not lawful how they bill you, and they don't follow the Bill of Rights, and so many contradictions in all of it. It's just one big horrible mess. Never mind the dogma Latin and the corruption within the text and the letters that they send. The birth certificate, Sestuke. Come a long way, made a lot of good friends, and have found a lot of kick-ass groups, and together we have amassed some excellent documents, and we've made some brilliant discoveries, and we've helped people, and we've had results. And whether you want to use their system against them, and use the legal system and rebut their claims and make something called the three-letter process, and that would be using the legal system to rebut their claims, because the person who's making the claim has got the burden of proof, so they have to provide everything. You rebut that with what's called a conditional offer of payment, and you use a three-letter tactic, and you write a letter and they ignore it, and then you send another letter going, well, you've ignored that letter, that was law, you're doing legal, law overrides legal, and also I'm following your system. I've said I won't pay it, I will pay it, but I won't pay it right now because I want these questions answering. Once you've provided the proof, because the burden of proof lies with you, then I will decide whether or not to act, because it's legislation and by consent. Blah blah blah. Then that they create acquiescence, their ignorance, and then that creates estoppel. Then after the estoppel, if it goes to a black robe further down the line, you've already provided an argument and tried to cease and desist and offered remedy and told them that you're willing to, but the judge doesn't even need to get involved because you've black robe, should I say. Or you can use a little thing called the Article 61 from the 1215 Magna Carta. Thank you, David Robinson. I was having a chat with some friends about the Magna Carta and whether or not it's still in use, which version, if any of it's valid, and such things as. 2 days later, I bumped into a guy in a group in Facebook called the British Lawful Dissent. And yeah, I had a chat with him. We talked about Magna Carta, and he come into my Sovereign Solicitorz group. He read the pinned post, and he was upset that I'd put down about we can't use the Magna Carta because it was designed for the barons and only the barons can use it. And I was misinformed. I'd made mistakes. Like I say, I'm not perfect, so none of this is written down. There's no rule book to use. We're pioneering in the areas that we're in. This is an 800-year-old document. It's had revisions done to it, and I was under the belief that the constitutional rights are inherent, birthrights, inalienable rights was the things that had replaced that, and they had overridden it, and that's what I'd come to be informed of and believe. This is not the case. The 1215 Magna Carta, Article 61, is there to be used by us, and it is there for us. It is there to protect us from the regime. If the regime is not acting in the interest of the oath of the public office, like the Queen in the coronation took an oath, one of the bit of that was to uphold the constitutional laws for the good of the free English men. We are not free. We're all debt slaves. And now, a year later, after not knowing where to go, not finding anywhere to go, I found some good stuff on the website, of which I've shared, web pages and forums. But nothing like what we've got the ability to do in online on the group Here we go. This is something I need to read. I want to try and keep this video to about 30 minutes. And when I do big posts and people see a lot of text, they just immediately disregard it. More people will get this information if I just try to quickly go through the 716 words across 3 pages. I struggle. I'm dyslexic. I'm challenged at these kind of things as well, but I'm determined to get through it. I understand why people are discouraged when they see the large text and they just think, no way, I'm not doing that. So here we go. This is genius from David Robinson. Good morning, rebels. How to keep the remedy we are using. The invocation of Article 61 of the Magna Carta 1215. Simple. The basic premise is that Article 61, the security clause in times of tyranny, that's what it's for, Article 61, is in effect today, which cannot be truthfully denied. The Daily Telegraph report is evidence of its invocation. This is, I traced this back to a Daily Telegraph report of 2001. If you use Google search and put David Robinson Daily Telegraph 2001, you'll find some stories related to this, what I'm on about. The Daily Article 61 revokes the authority of the Crown because the Crown has defaulted on its pledge to act according to the people's customs and the rule of law, which was promised within the coronation oath. The Crown today has no authority, therefore any institution that relies upon the authority of the Crown has none, either courts, councils, police, military, etc. The sovereign people have a duty under the law today to distress the Crown, including all of its institutions or peoples thereof, to deny them consent and to compel them to stand under the invocation of Article 61 themselves. Everyone within the entire realm, including the Commonwealth, must comply with the Constitution or be standing as an outlaw by not doing so. To distress the regime until remedy has been achieved, revoking the ratification of the Treaty of Nice, is a command. In fact, it's a royal command. This is a contractual agreement with equal consideration. We have the lawful right to distress the Crown as long as we do not harm them physically. This provides the people with a peaceful remedy against the usurpation or deposition of the Crown and the rise of tyranny. It relies on the people uniting under the constitutional law and using it in an honourable, peaceful manner, which is how this group rolls. This is from the Lawful Dissent. I don't mind advertising other people's groups because we need to help each other and we all have different things to offer and they're different experts in different areas. So it's all good. It's all good. First base authority. We can prove that. Yeah, first base authority. This is the now different way to handling letters and claims made by the state or towards your legal fiction. And I've just said you could do it the legal way, and there's videos that we've posted in the group and on the playlist that this will be in on my YouTube channel that you can scan through. First base authority. We can prove that Article 61 was brought into effect, which evidently means the Crown has no authority. Any question or statement made to you without first proving their authority is a distraction from first base. It is a criminal offence to aid and abet anyone not standing under the Constitution at this time or at any time. That's beautiful. Our duty is clearly to distress the regime and to compel those not willing to stand under the Constitution in any communications with agents of the Crown, etc. We simply use the evidenced truth to compel individuals that make demands upon us, nothing more. They're making demands upon your person in your 2D legal fiction because it goes God, man, government, and government work under man. So you've got to remember the chain of command guys as well. And who you could, if you're going to claim the name or contract in, and if you're contracting in, then you've got no rights and stuff, and you've kind of committed under the contractual terms and contract law via joinder or claiming the name. Getting into arguments other than whether they have authority over you, like contractual obligations, is missing the point and moving away from first base. He's got a point. Anyone even writing to you whilst ignoring the fact they have no authority to do so is harassment. Correct. If not demanding monies with menaces, harassment is a crime. We can use this criminality to compel the police to act accordingly to the Constitution. I like it. Also, instead of them just being kept in the dark and acting as a corporate policy enforcers, run for profit, listed on the website that monitors businesses, not just companies, houses, and better one, it's in London, I forget the name. They have not been, as corporate policy enforcers, they have not been educated as to the law since the 1950s. No wonder they have no idea about the common laws of this realm. Some are unaware, but not many these days. Most are ignoring the truth of Article 61's implications, but they are in a difficult situations. Not all cops are as bad as many know the score, but feel trapped within the system, which the system was designed to do. Mortgages, chain, your commitment, your money, your children. They've got accustomed to the life, so they're not going to go and risk the job, and they believe what they're doing. They're in the uniform, so why are they going to listen to us? They think they're the boss, but no, we pay their wages. Until we commit a crime, then they work for us, and they have no authority over us till a crime is committed. Yeah, it's a bit messy this, because they're the people in the uniform, and they're the people that should know. And even when you go to the court, and you've got to know your words, you've got to know and keep your parameters separate, because if you don't, you end up in a lot of trouble, and before you know it, you end up giving up your rights and stuff. But we continue on. For remedy to be achieved, let me just see. We simply conditionally accept all demands on proof of evidence that Article 61 is no longer in effect today. Article 61 can only be repealed by the Barons Committee making a public statement saying as much and whilst providing the evidence that remedy has been achieved. For remedy to be achieved today, not only would the ratification of the treasonous Treaty of Nice, need to have been proved to have been lawfully revoked, but all those who signed the treasonous documents would need to have been arrested. The treasonous matter has to be heard within a court of common law and in a public forum so that justice can be seen to be done. This is what has been denied to us for many years now. Full remedy to this corporate takeover of our rights and freedoms will only occur when enough of us demand the above. We have proven the validity of our argument many times in the processes we have used. All we need now is you, peace. So I've joined this cause, I'm promoting it. What can I say? There are ways to do it. There are many ways. It depends on the way you want to do it. I've made my decision, and now I'm making a video, and I'm trying to provide the source information, evaluate it, give you the reasons why, and show you the pros and cons. You find a different way, or you find a more honourable way, or a quicker way, or you just want to pay the money, then do so. But you need to know who you are and what you are. I've got children on this planet, and I'd like to free them, and I'd like them to be truly free. I'd like to be truly free. I don't want threats and demands and things made upon me, my personal property being threatened, and people trying to, seize goods to the value of, or even incarcerate you and kidnap you for something where, people locked up where there's nobody injured, or there is no crime so committed, there's no complaining party, but yet people are in prison. Why? Well, they've caused an offence. They've distressed the regime, but they haven't done it in the correct way, and they didn't know the rights, and they've ended up going down for it. So, as I said, I have no response from the council. I wrote a letter, and I said I will make a conditional offer of payment. I wrote on the summons, the fake court administration summons, no contract, no consent, 45-degree angle in red pen. I stapled the letter that's in my group to that summons, and I sent it back. That was in August. I was summoned 15th of September. No letter, no notice, no police notice, no phone call, no, no summonses, extra warrants or demanding third-party people. It's just gone quiet. But PCNs and bus charges, the Nottinghamshire County Court Enforcement Business Centre don't seem to want to give up. Oh no, they're coming on strong. What have we got here? This is another video. I'm not doing it now. We've got loads here, but what we're going to do is just, I've opened them to have a look. Derby Council, Nottinghamshire County Court Enforcements, and so I've got a third-party collection for an unpaid parking charge notification. This is small fry. This is not to worry about. They're gonna get no contract, no consent, and it's gonna go back. I opened it very carefully with a knife so I can read the contents. I see for myself. Then it's going to be sealed, and a lot of other people have said no contract, no consent. Don't even open it. It's addressed to a Mister. When it has the Mister on it, then it doesn't mean it's your post. It's someone else's, and you've opened someone else's post. So you then ring that up, or you then send them a payment. You've made a contract. You've agreed. You've claimed the name. See, you're not lawfully have to do that, but legally you can do. Legally, I'm known as David Jeremita. Lawfully, I'm known as David. Legally, I would have a date of birth to give. Lawfully, I don't. As soon as you give that date of birth in your second name and you start fulfilling what they want on the phone or on the form, then you've contracted, you've submitted, you have given up your rights. Yes, the consequences, the sequences after the con are terrible. Right, this is another one from a group, a copy of a thread. Lee and Kim was doing this one. I won't give second names out. If you're in the group, if you're on YouTube, then get to the group, or it's just private. A copy of a thread from my group, very, very interesting and informative. Well done, team. I got notifications that people have got activity. I go in, I have a look, I see, I comment, I like, we monitor, we moderate. And I was blown away by this. When I say blown away, I've been on this now for a good 4 to 5 years. I started with my children at courts and moving up and getting barristers and stuff, but say 8 years in total. But the free man, John Harris, was the one that led me into this, and that legend that I know he's no longer with us, R.I.P. Bless you for what you did. He inspired me from the get-go, from one of my friends showing me. He actually cried in some of his videos. He got emotional. The man gave a shit. You could tell that he'd got the people's interest at heart. He was a victim of misinformation. He made some mistakes, but basically what he said and what he was on about, the fundamental basics, run true today. That's where we're here, the next generation. You guys need to share if you care, and just validate, source, check what we're saying, join us, come in, argue, or join the cause, as is David Robinson's request on that statement that I read you at my request. This thread, amazing, the product of so many people's input. I've put it together, I've copied it into one body, I've edited it a wee bit, I've left it pretty much as they've written it, and this is a good 4 years worth of work just here in 2,043 words, 2 pages. What we are, 18 minutes. It's another big thread that people ignore because there's a lot of words and there's a lot of complication in it. You listen to me and take it in, pause the video, get your pen and paper again, make notes, pause it, go check, write stuff down. The links in my group, I've put government links in for CEST-UK, and I've got the Black's Law 4th edition dictionary. We've got documents up there, letters. There's a lot of expert people in the groups that I can send you to and that we're in contact with and that have networked up. Mind-blowing, absolutely stunning, world-class. Some of these notices that people are providing need framing. They're an absolute work of art. A lot of time, money, no money, but some money, but a lot of free time and effort has gone into this, and we're doing it for free, and we're educating people. And even today, somebody said from the group, God bless them, this is why the connection and the circle and everything what you do comes full circle, and you receive what you get. Someone's got a cafe, they're in Sheffield, South Yorkshire, said maybe do some evenings, drop in evenings or something, I don't know, in the day, publicise and promote what we're on about, the contents of this video, what's in the group. This cold's horrible. Do we go for the hoodie? No, we won't go for the hoodie. So yeah, things are happening, and if we could get this going as well, things are branching out. We're making good movements, we're making good progress, and the friends, the networking, the connection, the quality of the work is absolute world class. Law, religion and science. The United States is a corporation, not a country. From back in the Roman Empire, there are two things on earth, land and water. Subsequently, we have law of the land and law of the water. Law of the land is law of the people in the land in which they live. However, laws of the sea and water are international. They are the banking laws. When you get a credit card in the USA, it works in Europe or India. All ships are female and she delivers a product. Females produce products, labour, delivery room, birth ship. She delivers products. When products are delivered, they need a certificate of manifest. What is on the ship is on its manifest. Humans are maritime admiralty products. They also have a certificate of manifest, which is your birth certificate. On the bottom of your birth certificate shows our informant are our parents. We are then the property of the Department of Commerce. All humans are stock. As soon as the people are born, they are the property of the government in which they live. My birth certificate there, you can see the word informant, yes, in the middle at the top. Now go to the bottom. You have to pause this and zoom in and out. Check that out. That bit is in bold here. I want you to look at here. It says, warning, a certificate is not evidence of identity. What happens when you get to 18 and you want to get a bike, a house, a car? People want your ID. They go, have you got your birth certificate, pal? We need your birth certificate for ID. But this, when you hold it up to the light, has got the letters GRO in it and Crown. It's an embossed watermark document. It's bonded, it's moneyed. This little number here goes on the stock market, by the way. Boom, that's your 2D legal fiction corporate entity that we're on about here. Yeah. So what do we say? Yeah, informant are our parents, we are the property, blah, blah, blah. As soon as the people are born, they are the property of which the government in which they live. See, us versus USA. United States is different than the United States of America. Constitution of USA formed in 1776. And the Constitution for the US in 1871. US incorporated. United States is a corporation formed in Delaware in 1871. All citizens are governed under corporate law. All corporations must have a president, vice president, secretary and treasurer. Hence the USA Inc. formed in Act of 1871. A US citizen is an employee of the US Inc. It also has to do with the British Maritime Admiralty Law of Flags. This is also known as the British Maritime Military Law, and this is why the American flag always has a gold fringe when displayed in the courts of the United States. You find the same in government buildings and federally funded schools. The gold fringe is a legal system indicating that the court is sitting under British maritime law and the Uniform Commercial Code, military and merchant law, not common or constitutional law. Under the flag of Admiralty Law of Flags, the flag displayed gives notice of the law under which the ship, in this case the court, is regulated, and International Maritime Admiralty Law. The law of the high seas began in Sumeria, was perfected in Rome and continues to this day. The way we trade commerce today is modelled after the Masons, Templar Knights, 1,000-year-old system. UCC, Unified Commercial Code. I didn't know this back then, a year ago. That in itself, again, we don't need it, we don't use it, but it says, like I use when I sign under certain documents, the numbers with UCC 1-308. There's another one you can use which isn't UCC, which is VC. V coactus, which means signing under duress by your signature. You can sign without liability. There are many and various tricks and techniques to use, which I've got bonuses and pros and cons for. And UCC is disgusting, because if you go into a court and it's got a gold fringe, you can't go in there and start claiming for your inherent constitutional birthrights, because that court won't honour that, because it's a maritime UCC court and it deals with persons and citizens and 2Ds and fictions. And if you go in there in contract, or you want to go in there and try and claim that you're not going to contract because of these are what you do, you can't, because it's not that kind of a court. You would have to demand a retrial, and in a court which is common law, which is your right, and you don't go in there, because that's UCC and that's bad. And that's what they're saying here. You need to know about the different laws, and that one is a Masons, Templar Knights, 1,000-year-old system. Notice how regardless of whether you send a product by air, water or land, you ship it. The ship pulls into its berth and ties into the dock. The captain has to provide the port authorities with a certificate of manifest declaring the products he has bought. True. Though a legal loophole the royals have created, US citizens are considered property of the Queen under British Maritime Law, Army Law. We are all born of our mother's water from her birth canal. We are thereby a maritime product, a shipped commodity. Maritime, Admiralty, sea, but maritime is also military. Our mothers were delivering a product under maritime law, and that's why you were born in a delivery room. That's why the doc signs your birth certificate. Birth. Doc. The certificate of manifest. You're kept in a maternity ward. Why a ward? No other hospital areas are called wards. Prisons have wards and wardens. The United States Corporation came about just after the Civil War. Well, what do you know? Funny that. The Act of 1871 was passed by Congress, creating a separate form of government for DC. Especially turning it into a corporation, it was decided that employees would be called citizens. So when you say in court or on paper that you are a citizen of the United States, you are not a free American, but an employee of the US Inc. When you get a fine, a ticket, a bill, or get sued, you must sign all in capital letters. When you die, your Masonic tombstone by law will have all capital letters to show the employee has died. The entity that is your name in all caps is your Maritime Admiralty Product Code. Upper and lowercase legally represents you, your body. The Uniform Commercial Code was approved by the American Bar Association, which is a franchise, a subordinate branch of the British legal system, and its hierarchy based in London's Temple Bar, named after the Temple Knights Templar secret society. The power that controls America is based in Britain and Europe because that's where the power is located that owns the United States Corporation. Amazing. By the way, if you think that it's strange that a court on dry land could be administered under maritime law, look at US Code Title 18B7, B for Bravo. It says that Admiralty jurisdiction is applicable in the following locations. 1. The high seas. 2. Any American ship. 3. Any lands reserved or required for the use of the United States and under the exclusive or concurrent jurisdiction thereof, or any place purchased or otherwise acquired by the United States by consent of the legislature of the state. In other words, mainland America. All this is founded on Roman law because the powers at be have been playing the same game throughout the centuries wherever they have gone. The major politicians know that this is how things are, and so do the government administrators, judges, lawyers, insider journalists. Yeah, because they're in the law society, they're in the secret, in a circle, they're in various lordships, MBEs, OBEs, member of British Empire. They're in the Masonic lodges themselves. They're elite members of corporations and they get invited to special places and that. They've got diplomatic special permissions. Oh my days, see how I mean? Laws don't just apply to lands, they apply to the person. And we are not persons, we are men and women. So we make law. It says in the Bible that that make you swear on in the courts that God says you as men you shouldn't make laws. He makes the laws. That's it. We follow what he says. So when these guys start throwing them at you, it's like, aye. Those who realise what is happening and ask the court for the name of the true creditor or recipients of the fines imposed by the legal systems are always refused this information by the judge. The true creditors in such cases and the ultimate recipient of the fines are the bankers to which the corporation country is bankrupt. Tales from the time loop, lawyers or barristers have to take the Bar Association bar exam just as our alcoholics go to the bar. Sugar junkies eat candy bars and gamblers hope to get free bars on the slot machine. These all derive from the Templars' turn of the 13th century Temple Bar. In England, originally the Temple Bar was literally just a bar or chain between two posts next to the Temple Law Courts. This soon became a huge stone gate, and there were eventually 8 of these gates built so the elites could restrict controlled trade within the city of London. They were taken down during the 19th century, but each stone was numbered and kept in storage until 2004 when they just rebuilt the Temple Bar in London. Interesting. The United States Corporation was created behind the scene of a federal government when after the manufactured victory in the American War of Independence, the British colonies exchanged over dictatorship from London with far more effective covert dictatorship that has been in place ever Since, in effect, the Virginia Company and a corporation headed by the British Crown that controls the former colonies simply changed its name to the United States and other related pseudonyms. These include the US, USA, United States of America, Washington, D.C., District of Columbia, Federal Government, and Feds. The United States Corporation is based in the District of Columbia, and the current president of the corporation is a man called George W. Bush. Barack Obama, he is not the president of the people or the country as they are led to believe. That's just a smokescreen. This means that Bush launched a war on terrorism on behalf of a private corporation to further the goals of that corporation. It had nothing to do with America or Americans because these are very different legal entities. It is the United States Corporation that owns the United States military and everything else that comes under the term federal. This includes the Federal Reserve, the Central Bank of the United States, which is in reality a private bank owned by controlling stockholders and controllers of the US corporation that are not even American. This is the bank from which the United States corporation borrows money. Rothschilds, Rockefellers, International Bank, yeah, that's true. Obviously when it mentions Bush, Barack Obama, it's a bit old, this text, but it's been work in progress, so you see where we're at. If you notice on the bottom of your birth certificate, it says Department of Commerce. It is a property of the Department of Commerce. Ours says actually different. UK one, it says actually Crown copyright because we're actually we're within the Crown reign on this landmass England in the corporation England. In Department of Commerce, because you are nothing more than a piece of commercial material. No, we are men and women created by gods. I am the body, mind and soul, and this soul is in this vessel. When this soul's ready to move on, I leave this vessel here and I chip off. There's nothing, no control over, you know, that you're nothing more of a piece of commercial material. That's if you decide to claim the name, that is, you see. That's why if you're out of work, if you don't go to the unemployment office, you go to the Office of Human Resources because you're just a human resource. The judge sits on the bench for the bank. Banks are on both sides of a river. A river directs the flow of the currency. The sea, the current, and the sea, the currency, the cash flow. The currency is deposited from bank to bank down the river. We're just consumers to advertise to. Just human resources to be used up like batteries, and they are the social engineers moulding us, useless eaters, into wage and debt slavery. As I comprehend it, birth registrations are done through the Crown of Temple Bar, BAR. This is the British Crown, and it goes deeper than that too. BAR, British Accredited Registry, Registry of Deaths, Births and Marriages. Who employs these shizens? The Bar. They are priests working for Rome. All roads lead back to Rome. It's a horrible saying that because it's true. It's just like them going, what? Isn't it true? Yes, we've absolutely hammered them from every angle, Cuthbert. Oh, it's marvellous. Yes, they will be happy. Yes, they think they're free. Little do they know. Marvellous plan. Yes, and what are they doing? They're out partying all the time and using apps, and not one person's ever come to knock at the door and ever say, oh, what? I'm alive. Oh, people. It's Rome, always has been, where they wrote the religions. They hid under this veil. This is how the bar stewards have done it, in robes and shirt, suit and tie. We've been taught that this is respectable, and that's what we've done over the years, respected these crooks. Now it is so bad, people are realising they're not cracked up to what we thought they are and having to move fast, which exposes them all the more. The root is religions, and this is my goal, to break as many as I can from it. Once they see they have been had, it makes them extremely angry, and the desired effect, then they start checking and researching. They own everyone's birth certificate and hire the copyright to government to bring in revenue from fools who answer to it in court, claiming a name. Governments are bankrupt, so trade on sea, and as land law forbids trading, men are on land and land forbids them trading with bankrupts and piracy to enable treason, hence strawman and Sesto KV Trust. Strawman, meet a strawman, YouTube video, 5 minutes, very good. It's on my channel, it's in the playlist. One needs a live-born record, and best of luck getting that. It also has a 7-year rule. A child up to the age of 7 can get a live-born record. A married couple, if one partner disappears for 7 years and no one knows their whereabouts, the other partner is free to remarry, dead after 7 years. But a marriage is a contract of two corporations coming together to produce a product. Personally, I would never get married. It's no good and does no one any favours. No, I know the British government give you a little tax rebate, I do believe. Some money off if you get married. Oh, yeah. Money's all about the money. A man or woman are in the jurisdiction of common law and not Admiralty Law. Birth certificate is for receipt for goods, hence government use docs in private commercial courts. They rely on you giving life to their paperwork for your birth certificate, and summonses are always in capitals. Yeah, a real one, you might get a real one in capitals. I've had a fake one so far, and it was all in capitals. And like you, the penny takes a while to drop. If you don't announce yourself as the living, you will be judged as a property, as the paperwork which we answer to in error. Our justice system provides a service based on Roman Catholic law. The Vatican have laid claim to all things on earth. Boniface the Eighth, unum sanctum, 1302. They presume you are their property unless you tell them. Notices to them. Reclaim your dominion. It is your soul's mission. Read the Bible, then watch The Godfather. Christopher Columbus, Christopher. Christopher equals the bearer of Christ. Columbus was the name of the dove. 1455, Romanus Pontifex. This takes away your real property. 1481, Aeterni Regis, Aeterni. This takes away your personal property. 1537, Convocation. This takes away your soul. We have all been baptized into the Catholic Church. If you have a birth certificate, that is your baptism. You was born in a hospital. Military, that's a military facility since the 1870s. You were born in wards. We are all wards of the estate. You are the chief executor of your estate, your legal fiction, the sole beneficiary and shareholder of your corporation. You can submit your corporation to the court, to the clerk of the court, and you can remain on land as a man and not submit your real body to the court and under his jurisdiction. You can use Article 61 of the Magna Carta. We have absolutely smashed the back doors open on such a massive amount of this system, and it's who does what and who answers for who and when and where and why, that 1 year in, that's good going. You should be proud, guys. I'm proud as anybody can be to be part of it, and I am not the most knowledgeable person within the group, even though I am the creator and the one that had the idea for it. I am following, and I am also leading, and I take turns whether I lead or whether I follow. And if I can see someone else is there that's coming that can lead, I let them lead, and we will verify what they're saying. I'm so happy to have you all as members and friends, and the Facebook groups that I would recommend that I've been frequenting of late are the UK Laws and Secrets, the British Constitution group, the Lawful Dissent, a group that I help manage called I Resist, I and Dash Resist, Common Law for Dummies. Check out one called, type in the search box in Facebook, Englishman's Random Videos, because he's got some good solid gold stuff again, and many and various topics. Such brilliance in the youth of today. So I say youth, but yeah, I'm not sure his age, it doesn't matter. What else we got on there? Exposing the matrix of lies. I can't think of any more now, but yeah, we post links, we share, we back each other up, and like we've said in the first article about the Magna Carta, we need to get together and we need to be united, we need to have clarity, we need to have structure and direction. We will continue to help you with the PCNs, notifications, letters, and demands upon your persons, and I hope that explains a bit more about these massive threads, these big in-depth conversations that we've had. They're planning something big soon, not just these drop-in sessions or something in the pipeline. If anyone else knows of any venues or somewhere free we can use, let us know, or somewhere where we can get together and talk or project our feelings upon an amount of public. That would be excellent. Projects, yeah, there's nothing else to say. Thanks very much. Happy 1 year anniversary, Born Day, Sovereign Solicitorz. Thanks to all the admins and the moderators, the big characters that are in there, the people that come in and that are new members that are confused. We help you. If you guys come in and you're experts, then obviously let us know what you know. Thank you to everyone that's taken part and that's continued to take part. We get bigger and stronger and wiser. So yeah, I'm very happy. I'm very chuffed, and I owe you a lot. Thank you very much. I will continue to uphold my personal oath to the Landmass England, Article 61, distress the regime, and remain honourable, and protect people where they need protecting, humans, men and women. Ciao for now.